I'm losing. I'm okay. I said this to Namek like earlier. I wasn't gonna think about doing a B list on this dude again unless it was for this specific type of video. If it had anything to do with Ironwood, because I don't like how this dude argues with his stuff. It is completely terrible.
I mean, if you want to chicken out and not hear his argument, then be my guest.
No, I said unless it was this type of video, I wasn't gonna think of ever doing this type of video again. But unless it's an Ironwood video. But apparently he decided, yeah, an Ironwood video is good.
I just need once this video starts, I need to make myself comfortable in my big villain chair. But what? I'm a pedophile? Oh, sure, whatever. I don't care.
I'm back, and I thought my days of discussing Ironwood were done, but half my fortnightly portion of the rent paid later, and here we are. Anyway, as usual, I want to thank my wonderful backers for making these episodes possible. Links below. So, today our goal is to address not whether or not Ironwood's actions were villainous, but whether or not RWBY signaled why Ruby and Co did distrust him, i.e. not what informed their decisions, but if what informed them was communicated clearly.
Here we go. Well, what is this? Ironwood gave an arm to Yang, and like he not only that he stopped Weiss's freaking wild boar, but also sided with her. He was nothing but nice to her and defended her.
He's been nice to every single member of RWBY aside from Blake.
And that's not like because he's mean to her. It's just because they never really had an interaction with each other.
Oh, but Namek, him giving an arm was him grooming, apparently, according to some fucking Tumblr post that he decided to use.
You might think that. But you know what? You're fine to think that. That's your opinion.
Jesus Christ.
He didn't disclose the entire truth to them. He just... Well, as you can see, look what happened when that happened, so...
I mean, I thought... Well, you're talking about being scarred and everything, but I thought they wanted to not be like Osbin and keep things secret.
Oh, but you see...
No. I know what you're doing. You're a sleeper agent. You're a sleeper agent for RWBY. I see.
No, you gotta remember what Crow said. RWBY is having people earn her trust. See, that's why she's better.
But Ironwood did. I would say he earned everybody's trust, especially.
I'm sorry. Does everyone have a smile on their face?
No.
I thought so. Therefore, he is a villain.
That's another.
Sorry, but that one coworker over there. Hold on a second. Here's spam.
I can go.
That one coworker over there has a frowny face. I can't trust a man who gives their employees frowny faces.
I mean, my profile picture is not smiling, so I think that's a problem. I don't know what's with your profile picture. Is your guy smiling?
Underneath that helmet, yes, he is.
Oh, I guess it's that I'm the problem. I guess I'm just the problem. I guess I'm just never doing anything right.
Now you got a look of, did I leave the stove on?
No, my mind's like, oh, this dumbass.
Anyway.
What's another one? Oh, yes. Back all the way in Volume 3, telling everybody to go and not like regret anything.
To fight or not. No one will blame you if you run.
That's the thing I like about Ironwood. It's just like, okay, clearly the reason why he's doing all this is because he has dealt with some serious shit, especially having a missing limb, and
half his body is gone.
And you know, for the entire like volume, like he was like fiddling with his arm a bit, you know. And once he was talking to Team RWBY, I forgot what was it, but it was like a conversation that led to him like looking at his arm for a bit. And even with that, he was being the most charitable right there. It's like, okay, you hit Mercury. And it's just like, or was it? Yeah, it's Mercury. And we don't know what's going on. And I'm gonna lay it on thick, but also be a bit nice. And it was probably one of the better response that you could have done there, that he could have done. And back to what I said, like again, these robots are not out of like anything bad. Because before you knew everything about him, I can see people being like, I don't fully trust him in that or anything. But then again, everything gets revealed that he truly cares about everybody. What he said is 100% true. He wants to lower people's deaths, so he decides to make robots. And when those robots go
those
rogue,
robots are super ineffective.
yeah.
Because
But
the writers decided that.
and
Even though
then
they were somewhat competent in Volume 2, I guess to reduce costs, you gotta dumb down those AIs.
and then oh my god, I think I lost my train of thought. No wait, I got it. Okay. Even though like the robots decided to deviate, he decided to stay and protect the children, protect the people that were getting attacked by his own creation. And that's where we see that he actually had a robotic arm. So yeah, that's a little rant of Ironwood's greatness.
I always figured he had like a robotic arm, considering like he always wore the white glove. But the whole half his body, that was what came to a shocker to me.
Also the fact that he was able to handle a Grim with that arm.
I mean, everyone can pretty much handle a Grim with one arm. So written to fight that way.
Yes.
Also, I will say that when we first meet him, like I kind of already figured he was going to be an antagonistic force for our quote unquote protagonist. However, due to the handling of the writing from Volume 7, they really botched up how Ironwood becomes an antagonistic force to our quote unquote protagonists.
No, that's the thing. They just that's the thing. It's hard to believe that they wanted us to think that Ironwood was bad in the previous volumes because they showed him in such a good light. If anything, they were trying to show like that some darkness that he had, which he quote unquote had.
I'd say they showed him in a suspicious light prior to Volume 7.
I would say he's definitely in more in the moral gray area than he is with Ozpin.
Yeah, the way the show presents it is that he's in the wrong for having all this military force and not exactly agreeing with Ozpin.
Right. And we're gonna listen to Ozpin but we can't listen to Ozpin because the show says that he sucks. So who should we trust?
That's now. I'm saying back then they definitely painted him a negative or at least dubious light.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'll shed the light of Ironwood's good. You show the little iffy there with Ironwood. That's perfect. That's perfect. What else? Oh yeah, didn't he also like stop the trade in somewhere? So yeah, that shows some paranoia.
Put an embargo around his area, but given the circumstances of let's see what happened to the Fall Beacon, can you really blame him for putting up an embargo so then the Fall Beacon does not repeat?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that was perfect. A nice summary of Ironwood's good, great moments, and then iffy right here moments, but nothing to the point where he becomes full on evil. And speaking of which, remember that line in like the end of Volume 2 where he said to basically to Osmond like you left me no choice or something like that. It's just like, oh, okay, that seems kind of ominous. But then also at the same time, it's like, okay, if the story was actually good, it was supposed to just say that he's not evil. It's just he questions him, and sometimes Osmond's choices are not the greatest. That's a headcanon right there. I just want this show to be better.
We all
First,
want
I want to
that,
say
but
I
the
feel they
writers
conveyed
don't let that happen.
this very effectively, and will outline here why, though for a more detailed essay, check out the link below. It is awesome. Now, Leading into
What
V7
link
from
below?
V6, the main cast's faith in authority figures has been shaken. Raven tried to stir up distrust, Lionheart betrayed them, Ozpin and Crow's passive attitude led them
Wait,
to
can
a
you pause
trap,
for a second?
and
Evan, can you actually check to see if there's a link? Remember last time with his link in the Full Metal one?
Is just
a link.
Okay,
Oh,
there's
it's
an actual
another
link, but like, what is it about? Like,
is it about a scam? Don't
wait,
don't
is
press
it
it.
is it the fucking link I'm thinking about? I just saw I can't barely see it. Yeah, I see Tumblr. Okay,
God.
I mean, he
open
says
it for a second. Open
he
it for a
says it's the
second.
link to.
I want to know if it's the one I think it is. Okay. Never mind. This is something different.
I mean, he said what it was. He said it was the Ironwood essay.
Actually put the link this time.
Yeah,
trying to-
I thought it was the
Give
one
him a
where.
round of applause, everyone, for slight improvement.
Hey, Trent, do you also want to show this guy's IP? Like, stalker.
That's not what I was saying. I thought it was the one where you're saying, "Oh, him giving Yang an arm was grooming," and I fucking hated that one because it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What could you be talking about that?
I don't understand. I didn't understand it. I couldn't even. I didn't understand what he was trying to argue with that.
That's like saying that like they're hinting a relationship between Crow and Ruby, like some romantic interest. It's like where are you coming with this? Like what happened here? How did you sum up to that? Don't answer that question, Dad. Don't answer that.
No. I'm just trying to say, like, if they really wanted to have any sort of point that it was a grooming tactic, Ironwood should have told her, "Hey, don't forget who gave you that arm."
Yeah, show.
At least try to make
Like,
her feel
very
guilty. Like,
toxic.
Should
hey,
have said it. Should have at least acknowledged
the
it
arm.
in any sort of way after the fact. No, just no lines about it afterwards.
Like, I don't know, maybe Adam. He's abusive, right? He used to be like a master to
Slap
like.
a woman, therefore death penalty.
Right, I should slap women and not give any consequences.
then it came out that Ozpin was lying about the very nature of Salem and about having a plan to end her permanently, as he alluded to in Volume 5, because he had no faith in their ability to deal with that realization, and retreat into Oscar's mind rather than acknowledge or deal with any of this. And then Crow spent the rest of the volume spiraling into self-destruction. None of this is helpful.
What's Ruby's plan to deal with Salem?
I don't know.
No, but it's apparently better than Ironwood's plan, Ruby's lack of a plan to him is somehow better than Ironwood's actual plan.
Yeah, it's just like that's something. That's something right there.
Our heroes have never once acknowledged a way to actually try to counteract Salem.
For months, they knew what was going on for months. Right? That was the montage shit. I had to like think about that for a second because it was like weeks or something. Like there's a video game that's gonna like take place between those times, and it's just like I'm gonna be thinking once that game comes out, I'm just like, you could have told Ironwood about Salem right here. You could have talked about Ozpin being alive or whatever. You could have told everything on the truth right here and here and here, because he could have planned something out.
Our heroes have never once thought of anything to try to contain, trap, or I don't know. If Ruby's have read so many hero tales, chop her up into bits and spread those bits all over the world.
And now, not to be memey, but I feel like it's a bit silly how Ironwood decided to make the Atlas fly up. Instead of doing that, he should have take Atlas and push it somewhere else, like horizontally, like. Not to be memey, but that it fits really well. But is there any explanation on why that is?
Like
they're never really.
The tubes leading to Atlas. Mantle, I mean. Tubes leading to Mantle. Moves those pretty much can wreck something.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No,
oh my god!
What you said? Why didn't he move it horizontally?
Yeah, well, yeah, with the rocket, instead of shooting up to space, why you could just shoot over?
Because then Salem would still get to them eventually, but Salem can't get to space.
I know. I'm just saying that, at least we won't stay there and die,
Wait, no.
Also, Also, how fast could it go? I don't know, it's just a different idea. Maybe it was silly after all.
Helped by Cordovan mostly being a pain for the joys of being a petty tyrant until reality knocks some sense into her, and the volume highlighting all
Until
of these
reality
issues
knocks
with
sense
RWBY.
to her. When she was being. Okay, 1 second. She's being a pain for being a pain? No, she's being a pain because you're just walking up here and saying, "Oh, we need to transfer to Atlas," even though they're under strict embargo or strict lockout, and you're just saying, "No, we need to be there." We don't know who you are, other than Weiss, who she allowed to go in. She allowed to be like, "We will send you directly to her family."
I'm trying to think like who is she who is she tyranting over exactly? Because
Faunus.
Now she's being a dick. Yes, she's being a dick to
being
to
rude to strangers who just walk up
no.
to her.
I was
But
about to
also
say
rude
she's
to
being
Faunus.
rude to
Like,
Maria.
Who are
But-
also
but-
being illegal.
Well, Maria
Yeah,
at
and
least has
yes,
has a
she's
reason.
racist, but you also can't say that Team RWBY is in the right for just saying, "Give us a ship." Like,
oh, absolutely.
we need to go there.
They could have chosen the least violent option and it's just have Weiss go. But no, she had to be with her girlfriends.
I'm trying to recall because I
Emphasized.
know Crow sent a letter at the beginning of Volume 6 to Ironwood.
Oh my god, yes! Why?
That letter never comes into play.
Holy shit!
It's-
Yeah.
Essentially beats the letter before it gets to Ironwood.
Also, surprisingly, doesn't that show that Crow has some trust in Ironwood?
I'm just trying to think like, didn't Crow try to use any of his actual connection with James Ironwood, like say to Cordovan, "Hey, I know Colonel James Ironwood. Tell him there's a message from a Crow Bronwyn. See if he replies to that."
Man, we really just we didn't need that fight at all. Maybe we can have Adam, and then maybe for the rest of the part we can have Oscar, kind of learning about himself more, especially how he's gonna vanish a bit, and instead of just having him go off screen, get better, and then John. And overall, I just hate that because why couldn't you put Pyra? Why couldn't you just put Ren and Nora with John and just talk about Pyra instead of just them kind of being there at the end and talking a little bit about Pyra? Why couldn't they be part of this, just full?
Still find it funny that wasn't Pyrrha from Mistral?
I don't remember about that.
No clue.
I don't blame you because they don't really talk about that whatsoever. Because I know for a fact that town they're in where they find the Pyrrha statue, that is not her hometown.
Oh, you know what?
And
Why
she
don't I
got a
look it up
statue.
since I'm doing nothing? How do I? Oh, 1 second. I'm just gonna.
Be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Okay, we'll just wait for then. There's a thunderstorm, but it's still light outside somehow.
Oh, you got that too?
Yep. Oh. Yes, please. Kira Nichols. Oh, I did have it correctly. Okay. She's a student at Beacon. Change again. Her weapon. Okay, 1 second. And children. Memorial stat. Oh, okay. So it was an art. So the statue was in Argus because she trained there before attending Beacon. Wait, what? Why would a place she trained to have somewhere a statue of her? Wouldn't it be her hometown? Do we even know where her hometown is?
The thing, but the writers
Let
want us to
me
be
check.
sentimental, so they'll throw it anywhere.
Town.
The writers want us
Earth.
to be sentimental, so they'll just slap that statue anywhere.
They do not have
Then
it.
add a backstory to it outside of the show, because you're not
Color
gonna find
naming
that.
rule.
You're
Fuck
not
you.
gonna find that info here.
Sorry. Okay. What the fuck? Okay, never mind.
Oh yeah, that's another problem with that. Just she was trained somewhere else. That's a bit weird, but okay, I'll let that slide. You know, maybe you can have some different training there, but actually, no,
Story.
that's
Wait,
very weird.
story.
That town is small. Why would she be training there?
I'm
Like,
trying to see.
who would she be trained by?
What?
Excuse me?
Wait. Oh, maybe something. Oh, come on. Just can there be something? This place does it seriously not have anything about our hometown?
No, you remember they don't. They
Oh,
barely
history.
touch
Maybe
on.
history.
Another reason that they just don't. For some reason, they just don't explain some things. Like
Background.
it's nice banter for friends to just talk about things that.
Okay, so wait. Okay, I think I got it. Here, Nikos graduated at the top of our class at Sanctum Academy, and now I have to look up what Sanctum Academy is.
Nice.
Jesus fucking Christ! Oh, and this is one of the primary colleges, a Mistral.
Stroll. Hmm.
Okay. Wait. That you said it. You said And where is Argus? Argus. This is. Okay. This is in Argus. Yes. Okay. So yeah, actually, I guess you're wrong about that. Wait. No. She graduated here, but it says no. It says nothing about where she was born. So you just have to assume she was born here, I guess.
Again, the simple banter that they could have just had.
Come here.
Hey guys.
And it's just like they didn't really need to just animate something crazy. It's just people talking. You can make people talking amazing.
I mean, that I guess it wasn't. That's not too big of a deal, I guess.
Not the biggest deal. My question is just like, is it really necessary to go somewhere else? Like again, I don't sense any like place that she could train in that area.
Yeah.
It felt like a weird
I mean,
like.
it says there was an academy there, so.
Really? I couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell from that area because it just looks like a town. Like there might be some shops here and there. Like maybe we could have seen the perspective of Oscar. Like actually give him time to see through what's going on with him because he has an old man, an old wise immortal man in his brain or something. Maybe you can see something there.
Just makes me wonder.
But no!
If there was an academy there, where are all the huntsmen? Because if there were Grimm attacking, why aren't they helping? Why is it only the Atlas forces taking down the Grimm?
Because we need Team RWBY, that's all we do.
Oh hey Dutch.
Hey man. Sorry if I sound a bit weird. I just came back from the circus and I'm drunk. I'm a bit drunk and a bit high. So I might sound a bit weird.
You eat.
Don't worry. You don't need to be sober to critique RWBY. It's not that hard.
Is it that bad?
Yeah.
It's that bad.
There's a lot of things because like sometimes you question something and then you question more on that. Like you just get deeper and deeper. Like it's like that iceberg thing where it's just like you just get more and more questions because we started out with like questions here and there about Pyra and everything, and then we start questioning about even if this place even had like a freaking academy, and then just just more and more and more and more and more. And it's just like it just breaks more, and it's just
If it breaks from the foundation, you're already fucked. It's already done. If your foundations are fucked, it's done. It's over. Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
we have
I never started on this shit.
Oh, that's a problem. Like, even with, like, the sneak peek of freaking Volume 8, there's already a weird thing. Because it's just like, RWBY could have flown anywhere. Why is she walking? And it's just like, there's a way for her to meet the mouse. And it's simply like her, maybe fly around, and then it starts raining, and it's just like, okay, I've flown around for a sec. Maybe I'll just take a little break here. Just to focus on my thoughts, and then she meets the mouse, because there really is no reason why she couldn't fly.
Yes, there is plot. We need plot. That's the only reason.
Need that funny gag of walking in circles.
Honestly, to be serious, I have not seen the trailer.
I will never.
wait. I don't either that or I don't remember a single thing about the trailer.
Of
And
course.
you know
I'm
what?
not surprised.
Because it's me, either one is just as likely.
And you know what? I'm actually quite shocked. I'm actually shocked because you forgetting about something about RWBY is kind of weird. No, but you forgetting something in Asomnia, that's natural. Is that
Okay,
freaking,
but to be fair,
Drake.
I made the document. I made the entire document and then just left. Like never thought of anything about RWBY. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I might have watched it. Well, you know what? Actually, I can just prove it. I can see if I've watched it.
Oh yeah, I remember. You made like a love note about RWBY.
No.
What? Are you sure? I thought.
Okay,
it was
apparently wait. No, that's the teaser. Apparently, I've seen the teaser, which was like 55 seconds.
Like here's
and
okay.
I see, but I haven't seen the Volume 9 Chapter 1 clip.
Okay,
Huh.
so was that
one thing I really need to know. I really need to know: is RWBY so bad it's funny, or is it just bad?
Depends on your day. Maybe when you're drunk, it's fun.
What did he say?
It's a
so
fun
bad
bad or is it good bad? Is it like
neither.
bad or good bad?
It is not good bad. It's
interesting. It's interesting.
It is. If you turn your brain off, it can be good. It can be good. You know what?
If you lobotomize yourself,
the second you
anything
turn
can
your
be
brain,
good.
No, certain things can't be good. But
like The Room.
I haven't watched The Room, but maybe.
What are you
It's
talking
one of those
about?
things where it's like the second it's like The Last Jedi. It's like it looks cool, but the second you have to think about it critically, it's like, wait, none of this makes sense. These writers are incompetent.
Now, Triton. I don't back down to a challenge. Should I lobotomize myself to see if I can have fun with anything?
Don't do that.
Sure.
The question is, will you remember about this conversation after your lobotomy?
Maybe.
Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe I should look at the consequences of being lobotomized. Maybe I shouldn't just go gun ho.
Nah, fuck it. Just try it.
You're right. What's the problem? I'll forget everything about my loved ones? No way.
So you would still be smarter than a DOJ fan. You would still be smarter.
I'll be smarter than a 5th grader. That's all I want. Being lobotomized will make me smarter than a 5th grader. I'll be smarter than a drug guy.
Think about it. This dude's better than Trigger, though. You know what? That's the one thing I can give it to him. Because at least he's insulted both me and Dad once, ish.
Will he say that he care? Because Trigger saying that he doesn't care is the most weirdest stuff ever. Because you can just obviously tell. Because back then I was just like, I want to talk to him. I really want to talk to him. I know that was impossible, but even though I was just like, look, Trigger, and it's just like I give a damn to the point where I would stay in a VC like a dumbass for him.
I wouldn't. Not even if my life depended on him. He's
I admit that I care.
Brain dead. It's so dumb.
At least I admit it, but he doesn't, and it's so weird.
He says you can, but every rule he takes, he does himself, but it doesn't apply to him. It doesn't matter. He does it. Only if other people do it. So weird and dumb.
I love that joke that I made about fairy tales. Just like I hope I made myself clear about everything about my problems with Demon Slayer, and Jigger is just like, but you like fairy tale, and then it's just that dying, that vaporizing meme. I love it because it really feels like he's trying to one up him because he watches fairy tale.
But Demon Slayer's not. He says he's not a fanboy, but he will defend it to the fucking death, to his fucking grave. He will not concede. He conceded 2 points.
Till death to you part, just like a wedding or something. It's just
he only said that Zenitsu and Enwu were bad, but even Zenitsu, he said no, he's better at the ending. He's way better later, even if he's not.
If you base your criteria off of who's worse, but off of who actually admits they're wrong, it might be triggered because this dude did not admit a single thing that being wrong. Even though it was like, Robin has seemingly respect for Penny. It's like, no, the fuck she doesn't. Oh no, it can be interpreted that way. Based on what? The zero interactions they have after this moment?
So this is what he told me from that conversation. That's what I hear. His hearing is clearly messed up. Needs
Wait,
like
this
a
is on my
software
mind?
reboot.
I feel like we're all dealing with
Wait.
like a bad like ex, and that ex is triggered because we keep on talking about him.
Yeah, but he's so
the second I'm
dumb
done
that
with the
it's
stream,
funny,
I'm
like
never thinking
Hassan
about triggering.
Piper.
I'm actually the second I'm done with I'm done with the stream because I haven't finished the stream actually. I'm gonna be
Oh,
like,
I did.
because I just wanted to. I was just pissed off that BG lost rock paper scissors after I gave him the entirety of the win condition.
Okay, at least
one
BG
round
wasn't a
of the
coward.
win.
At least he wasn't a coward and tapped out. That's I'm looking at the bright side.
Nobody tapped. Nobody tapped. That's fair. But DA still won, so that's all that matters.
No.
No, it does matter because
If it
again,
was the best out of
he
one,
didn't tap.
if it was the best out of one, BG would have won. But I think we're going way off fucking topic.
Yeah, we should go back to the
Sitting
video
here,
now.
Yeah,
it's just like-
okay.
And you know what? I
I'm
can
just
really
sitting here,
relate.
it's like just nothing.
I can really relate when because don't you get like timed out or something if you do something in like Trigger's stream or Trigger's Discord? Because I can relate
Like
to
this-
that.
Oh yeah, you
'Cause I'm-
get banned or pause if you're like if you have two brain cells. All you
And
need, you get banned.
Yeah, and as a person who has been a victim to abuse by mods and everything, it hurts. Because now, like, I'm sitting to like two people who has abused that. Okay, one of them abused it, and the other one was just watched and didn't care, which is also worse. It's like an abuse victim doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
Triton, Triton, Gavin.
Listen, this is mostly just your guys' thing because my voice is absolutely fucked up from A, yelling, and B, being sick. But it would be better if we kept it on topic because it's been like an hour and we're only a minute into the video.
That's really good. I think that's really good. We're not being Hassan here. We are talking. We are not just saying nothing. I think that's a plus. Anyway, let's continue.
Sure.
Making the plans, not Crow, because he just wants to give up, but she is welcoming if he wants to help. The
Crow
only
did not
adult
want
to
to.
already help
Did you just say Crow wanted to give up?
Yeah, he just said that.
wants to give up.
No,
but
Crow didn't want to give up. Crow just said, "You're stealing a military vehicle. You think that's not going to be a good idea. You have to find another way."
We'll have
And
to
she-
just wait for like letter to get to Ironwood.
And then she said, "No, I'm a big girl. I can watch R-rated movies. You can't tell me what to do, Uncle."
You don't need any adults.
They
help.
literally
You
just
never
they literally
needed
just
adults
like,
help.
said
Also,
that's you, this Crow.
you can't lie.
They pointed their
Right.
weapons at him. It's like, yikes.
It's so weird. It's not like he's being an asshole. He's just like he's concerning, if anything. Because this is really bad.
Well, guys, I have to go for a bit. Been fun for a bit. I just wanted
It really
to check
sounds
in.
like your parents are giving you
Good
the
luck with
talk or
RWBY.
something.
You guys, shut the fuck up. Sorry, it's my friends in the room. They're being assholes. Shut up. Good luck.
Get some headphones.
See you.
It looks
Dutch.
like it sounds like
Yeah,
you're doing kiss
I
the
should.
bottle or something.
So yeah.
Oh, we've been drinking. I'll tell you that much. Bit too much. Stop doing that shit. Smells like
Oh
shit.
my god.
Shut up. Good luck.
Alright, see you, Dutch.
Oh, this
Bye.
is perfect. Oh, this is perfect.
But she is welcoming if he wants to help. The only adults who are any help consistently are Maria, Saffron, and Tara, and they more or less engage with the kids as equals, i.e. either listening to and otherwise
and
collaborating with
contributing
them,
to
or
No.
even to-
Wait,
The only
wait,
people
rewind,
are people
rewind.
that we're willing to break the log at the current moment.
The only
Okay, okay.
adults who are any
Yeah,
help
we're
consistently are
okay. We're gonna do this, and potentially, if it fails, you're just going to jail. You're just or this is not. This is. It was risky for them to do that.
Absolutely
They had
risky.
a way of going about it. They just chose. Oh no, this might be this will be faster, and this will be, even though it's going to be way more dangerous.
It's a risky take,
And
in
also,
like a
Crow did not treat them like lesser. They
Absolutely not.
Crow will literally said. I don't remember what he said, but it was Crow was treating them on the same level as him.
He also
You
like
see, he's a
protected the
sad drunk
gang.
now, therefore he doesn't treat them the same.
That's the thing. It's not like he's abusing them. In fact, in a way like he's really just
He's
abusing
advising
himself
them. He's
because
saying
he is.
it's probably not a good idea to steal from Cordovan.
Like I said, remember that scene where he was like literally drinking himself to just like pass out and everything. That's not like abuse to like anything. He's not looking down at anybody with that.
He's
That's
hurting their feelings.
He's hurting his own feelings because he's drinking
He's
so
hurting
much.
Ruby's feelings. He's a sad drunk, and that makes Ruby sad.
Just like dead, just drinking a bit too much, you know. And honestly, I kind of like that scene. You know, it's just how much Crow has been going. You know, just being a bit too much. You know, kind of liked it.
Because he'd been he'd been listening to Ozpin for years, and that whole revelation comes like, oh, that stinks. Whereas those kids were barely were barely in on it, and
Yeah, it makes sense
and
for Crow to
yeah,
have much of a bigger reaction towards it.
their shock and awe would not be as big as Crow's.
And then punching a child, hell yeah, that's good in my book any day.
You've seen what he's wearing; he deserves to be punched. Look at that.
Look at what? All I see is Oscar, Maria, Blake, and Ruby.
Exactly. Look, Oscar's right there.
Oh yeah, right. I thought you were talking about Crow.
Look at what he's wearing in the snow.
Maria, Saffron, and Terra, and they
Oh, it was also
more or less
Weiss.
engage with the kids as equals, i.e. either listening to and otherwise collaborating with them, even in situations where they did provide guidance. But these are all relatively minor exceptions to the cascade.
I mean, yes, absolutely. Maria was being supportive to the point where she was able to save the gang by getting Ruby to do white eyes. But again, that doesn't prove that Crow was looking down at anybody. In Volume 4, he was basically protecting them. Basically, they just straight up protecting him. And then when he got injured, the kids decided to help him. It's not like they begrudgingly decided to help Crow or anything. They legitimately want to help him because, you know, he's a good guy. He's my uncle. He saved us, you know.
I'm still trying to figure out where Maria learned her piloting skills, because where on the Huntsman program do you learn to pilot stuff?
Not sure. I mean, I guess it's kind of like in school where you're trying to, you know, it's not like you learned school. It's not like you learned how to drive in school. You know, just drive from outside.
Yes, you do. You
actually
sometimes
sometimes
you have to take a drive. At least down here, Georgia, I had to take a driving course to learn how to drive.
Do you
like
think Ruby has that type of stuff for piloting? I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I mean, I guess, but like either that
places
or
I
you
can
have
see it.
to like. I feel like there's some sort of thing that could potentially be explain it. Not that it's good that it's not explained, but
Yeah, because like, again, just like in some schools that can happen. So I believe, you know, maybe in the future piloting can be super easy and be accessible, that kids should learn in a young age how to do it. But it hurts because we can't tell. We cannot tell at all. We have to guess and go, I don't know, maybe.
Didn't you?
decade of disappointment, and thus they're starting V7 in a bad place with authority figures. This isn't helped by the Elysian fleet being deployed aggressively, as noted by Atlas native Weiss Schnee, further emphasized by the fear that Atlas authorities will take Weiss back to her abusive father, and it's ultimately Weiss who suggests they keep their distance from Elysian forces. What's more, the world
and that's a stupid thing, because once you get down to the bottom part, you can okay. Once you get down to the parking place, you could have free range to say, okay, I'm Crow Bronwyn, I'm a huntsman. I can go ahead and then talk to Ironwood. She doesn't have to go. Her parents aren't waiting directly on the landing pad. There's no reason why you should be running away and causing more suspicion.
I love the idea that, like,
that's the reason you get in this position in the first place. Because you see because after showing how Ironwood treats them, the second that he finds out it's them, it's, oh, I'm sorry about all this. We thought you were an enemy because you showed up and just made yourself look like an enemy.
Show up in an unregistered, not unregistered, but in a vehicle registered from a completely different area, and then just parked it randomly in the city. We still don't know where it is.
Okay, yeah, it's so weird that, it's not like Weiss's father is gonna, when she opens the door and she's gonna go to Atlas, it's not like her father's gonna immediately slap her in the face or anything. It's not gonna be that much of a hassle.
I just find it funny that he's like, the Atlas force will take her back to her father. Well, they were ordered to. Like, they don't know the whole situation. If they did,
I was just gonna say that. They don't understand. It's like, oh, we're gonna take it to your abusive father. He's gonna freaking nail you to a cross, and we know that, but we don't care.
Literally, just essentially taking a lost kid back to their parents. That's essentially what their job is to them.
I don't know why. I think that's funny. Just
like to paint things in the worst light possible.
The worst light ever. But I just love the idea. Just immediately, when she just touches Atlas, she gets smacked across the face. She's on the ground. Her face is all red by her father. Just immediately.
I was expecting like random robots just to nab her.
And also do the slapping. They also slap her as well, just like her father. And they all laugh and tease.
Distant from Elysian forces. What's more, the worldly Maria completely agrees. This is before we even touch the ground. As we're landing, Mantle and the cast are bombarded with propaganda put out by Ironwood, where concern is noted immediately, signaling that
like you said in the ALX stream, this isn't propaganda. This is him trying to reassure people. This is him trying to reassure people everything will be fine, even though it looks dire. Stop saying propaganda.
That's
no, but
don't
you see, if a military force puts up a video, it's automatically propaganda, even though the military force is fighting an objective evil, and it's also not even fucking propaganda.
Yeah, it's just I don't get that. It's like a warning.
That wall.
Even with that, the first thing I thought about in that moment. I was just thinking, okay, well, first of all, let's talk to Ironwood. Cause I'm not fully convinced that he's bad or anything. I'm not having any bad feelings about Ironwood right now. Just because the character's having that doesn't mean I should. And again, it doesn't help how they're giving us such mixed messages. Where it's just like, okay, Ironwood is doing such a good thing here and there. He does have some iffy things here, but I'm gonna hear him out because, I like him. He's cool. He's very cool with that badass arm. Anyway, play.
Tired. Aside, but remember in V2 when Blake was also tired and it was a major plot point that this was making her less capable and less rational? Yeah. We also hear from background civilians lines like...
But that has to do, I don't know, never mind.
Well, also,
Volume 1?
He was later given rest to actually feel better and be, I don't know, up to par again. Where was Ironwood's rest? Where did he get to relax? When did he get to relax?
To be honest,
he can't.
Yeah, he can't do that.
like, ugh, not these again. Why can't they just leave us?
But by the way, I just
Because-
want to say it's funny that man was calling the videos saying everything is alright propaganda when there's literal propaganda like right here. But you know,
That's good propaganda.
It's good propaganda because Robin Hood,
Silent and not in your face.
and it's good because it's illegal. What they're doing is illegal, and that's the best part. Because the legal stuff, it's evil. We're all
B.
bootlickers to Ironwood.
With kids throwing rocks at surveillance drones, showing how the Elysian military forces are seen as occupiers, not kin, and not a protective presence. Again,
Or they
native
could just be
Elysian
kids
Wyshnik.
messing around with stuff.
That could be the security cameras,
and also
and
doesn't
kids are
matter
known
how they
to be.
It also doesn't matter how they see it; they're wrong.
And also we also have like factually 2 people who hate children, so it's really hard to convince them
So
that.
it's kind of funny that little drone never sees Watts.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain. Like, if that drone had had taken this picture of Watts, he'd be in some deep trouble.
I would love for Watch to just do like a selfie of one of those pictures. But then
says
he
this
hacked
isn't
that.
right. None of this is right.
He hacked security cameras, and I can only assume that the drone that's flying around there is using. I'm going to assume the updated software from Atlas, considering it looks to be newer than everything else there.
Another problem with RWBY. Like, what the hell's up with this? It's hard to tell like what things that Watts has taken over. And even then, it's just like the only things that we really see in the beginning with Watts is just him taking over and doing like just car crashes, like the freaking bastard he is. He's not really like manipulating any like cameras before he even got there.
But he has an umbrella that protects him.
I mean,
Plus
he
5
could have
stealth.
he could have worn more than that. You know, it's not too crazy to just, I don't know, put a hood, put a mask or something.
Wear a big old hat.
It wouldn't hurt because again, like Atlas is kind of chilly. He's in a chilly area. It wouldn't be suspicious for a dude to wear a lot of clothing, cover the mask, so it
They
won't
have
be.
stated you will die within minutes from the cold out there.
Yeah. It's like again, it could be excused that like, oh, this dude's just a freaking chilly dude. Something suspicious there. Look at us rewriting RWBY. How silly of us. Play.
Already trying to do that with Ice Queendom. Even then, that's probably just gonna be a bad dream.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'll have hope for that series. I'll have hope for that. It could be.
That series has cultural appropriation, according to Zellweger.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Wait, what?
Oh wait,
No.
Oh, you didn't hear?
He was a bit upset with the new character because they have a Dreamcatcher type weapon, and that is cultural appropriation. If you forget what the rest of the RWBY is based off of.
Okay. Okay. I see now. That's not good at all.
Spy Crow both concur on ditching the ship and want to disappear into Mantle to buy time, again showing worry. Weiss still has faith in her sister, but Winter joins the propaganda video and says failure to cooperate with Atlas military personnel is a punishable offence if your sector is under lockdown, and then it fades out. This further details the degree of military occupation in effect and the state's use of its monopoly on violence to enforce its will. Weiss.
So if a police officer comes up and tells you, hey, if you disobey a police officer, you're going to jail, you're going to be like, this is an oppressive military force, and no, it's a fucking police officer telling you to follow the law and also to listen to them.
Unless you're black, therefore you should
said
rebel.
It is exactly what I was going to say.
Unless you're a dirty faunus.
Oh yeah, you're a dirty darn faunus.
Weiss still has some faith in her sister, but Crow no longer even has faith in Ironwood and doesn't want to be near him until they know more. Keep in mind, this is the guy who in V3 saved Ironwood's life.
Yeah, and you think okay
But
now
Crow had a letter.
okay, I was gonna actually go
Was
a different
that
route.
letter thrown in the garbage?
I was gonna go a different route. This isn't good
Well,
right.
when
This
you notice
isn't good writing when you're saying, oh, you're saying, okay, even Crow doesn't believe in him. Yeah, he should be believing him and at least wanting to at least figure out what's up.
if anything, he should feel sorry for him because guess what? He's still going off the Ozpin plan. He's going off the information he is only privy to from Ozpin.
And that's another problem. Crow says fucking nothing when these kids
RWBY told
just
him not
lie. But
RWBY
Crow
told him not
says
to.
absolutely nothing. There is no opinion on him with that. There's opinions with like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this with Blake and all that stuff. But no Crow. Even though we had like that moment where Ironwood was being super nice and wanted to have a nice, like, wholesome hug to Crow, he never once thought, maybe I should tell him. Because Ironwood is telling us everything. He trusts us. He trusts us.
It's not enough for their trust. He needs to grovel at their feet.
And lick their boots. Play.
Life, smiled and expressed faith that he wasn't a traitor, despite having plenty of reason to think so. But he's shaken by this, and is the one
Okay,
to discourage
pause. Like I
what
said
reason?
before, like what I just said, that letter, doesn't that letter represent, like, some trust that Crow has? I said this before, but it's crazy to me how Crow just doesn't even second guess, like, maybe we should really cooperate with these people and, like, force it on these children. Because he has a
propaganda video.
What reason did they possibly have to think that Iron was going to be a traitor? That Lion was a traitor? That just means that it's a possibility that he could be a traitor. That doesn't mean that he will be.
I mean, he is a traitor.
It's that propaganda video. It was enough to turn them.
And again, like, again, repeating history, just lying and lying for weeks. And they see no problem with that.
Does he look like he can handle the truth? That would probably be their excuse.
I guess they're right. He will turn insane because
to be fair, it's not even Ironwood's fault because the truth is fucking insane that Salem cannot be beaten. Again, Ironwood made the correct choice.
It's just that she got crazy regen powers. Well,
no, she cannot. As far as we know, she can't be beaten because they put her in a jail. She's infinitely strong, I guess.
I still have them. I still say they could have either like dump her in a lake, chain her up, throw her in the deepest well possible.
Like a Salem witch trial.
I'm sure Salem knows how to swim.
Rip her apart and have all that goo spread across the world.
Okay, I got something to say. So if Ironwood was given the chance to know this, so he could escort everybody to Atlas and shoot everybody, on a horizontal, that means they could actually reach somewhere without being too late, That would be something, at least, They have a head start. They know what's going on. Let's evacuate. We can make it to a place. We can we can even use the freaking staff to teleport us, everybody, safely.
I mean, Ironwood made the correct decision, which was to send the remaining people into space where Salem cannot get to them.
I know. It's just I'm just saying that like there is other ways to do this. If they had knowledge, because why wouldn't they tell Ironwood? They could have thought about shit.
He's a big meanie. Again, look at all those people down there. They look happy. How can you trust a man that makes people unhappy?
Sometimes you gotta do bad things for the good of mankind.
Not RWBY and Co. Jean and Weiss also say, is this many soldiers normal? No, at least I don't think so. Yang's space also gets invaded by a drone that snaps her picture, because that's cool and normal, right? The propaganda video is also playing...
She's totally not invading their territory right now.
Like, do these cameras even have these people have never been in Mantle before. That's kind of suspicious. And hey, there's already been a freaking ship that snuck into Mantle. So maybe that's another suspicious thing. And yeah, that is actually really weird. What the picture thing? Why would the camera just take a picture instead of just
Probably scanned her and
recording?
they're like, hey, this ain't a person that's normal here. Who has
Yeah.
blonde hair in this city?
There's no Blondie here.
Background still, this must be exhausting for anyone who lives there. Nora and Blake also note how Atlas looms
Pause.
above Mantle.
What's with the star wipe? What's with the heart wipe? That's just a
Getting
weird thing.
fancy with his pro presenter.
It's kind of silly. I don't think it's really professional.
Well, see. Oh wait, darn it! I was gonna darn it. He hasn't used the heart wipe, has he?
Okay, continue.
The Mantle seems awful, overlaid with images of disheveled, dispirited miners, and before that, newsreels showing the stalled supply lines to Mantle to fix the wall. We arrive in Pietro's workshop, which he operates voluntarily as opposed to it being any kind
To backtrack, he says stolen supplies. Trying to read
dispirited
that.
miners, and before that, newsreels showing the stalled supply lines to Mantle to fix
Fargo,
the
the
wall.
right
Stolen
call,
supply.
wall damage, any events, missing journalist found slain. Not seeing anything about Fargo.
Well, what are you guys' thoughts on the miners?
Well, considering their fondness, and this is the white, and this is the Snee Dust Company. Yeah, I don't expect them. Considering the light that RT has painted the company, I don't expect them to be all cheery.
And not only that, but it's just like, do you think like Ironwood has even like the biggest knowledge of like, oh, fonts are still being abused like that? And does
That's
he?
a point. That's a
Not
point he
only
holds
that,
against Ironwood. That is a point he vehemently holds against Ironwood. He's like, Ironwood's so in charge, he should have been helping the Faunus from the Snee Dust Company.
yeah. But if anything, like
I like how
try,
he
like
has no
maybe
clue.
he may not have like the full power of it or something. And heck, maybe he can
He's
say
like-
that once I have 2 chairs, like what if I had like what was it? Like he has like 2 chairs and he gets like
Hold 2
better with
seats.
all this other stuff.
My
All
butt is
2
that fat.
seats.
I need 2 seats.
Yeah, 2 metal iron seats. Maybe doing that's like okay, maybe I have more power, or maybe I can stop this or something. So yeah, fair
Buds of
enough.
steel need the support of 2 seats.
Fair enough. The minor thing. Still crazy how this dude is going gun ho and like defending Ruby.
In Rubico, Robin Hill, anyone making a bad decision in this entire story.
Yeah, someone making a bad like move is not really obscure. It's quite natural to have shit like that happen. Cause like go same goes with like Robin. Like, what does she do to help out the miners? Oh wait, she actually tries to do something good here, but then decides to go all the way back to being bad and like stealing a ton of crap.
I'm still trying to
Even
figure out what exactly she did with those supplies, because me, they look like random parts for a tower. What's she gonna do with them?
I
Put
don't
them in the
know.
fire?
Give it to the miners. Like why do the miners need that? Again, you get that problem right there, and it's just like, well, I guess we all have to realize that Ruby is shit, and I don't think he's not. I don't think he's ready to or mentally prepared to say that Ruby is shit.
I just find it funny that if it weren't for Ironwood's, let's say, gun honess on trying to repair that tower, Ruby's plan never would have worked in Volume 8.
Yup. Because Ironwood was like, let's do that, but they're like, no, and then they're like, let's do that. And it's just like, wait a minute, didn't he want to do that too?
All their plans hinged on the completion rate that Ironwood had already done.
Yeah, it's so weird. Again, maybe they should have cooperated, so then we can explain everything. Also, do you think like there might be like some other places that want to like help out Mantle and they're like, oh wait a minute, like Mantle's already gone or something? Do you think that would happen?
Not sure, because well, all communication is still down, so it's not like they can get in touch with them. So if anyone is going to help them, they're just gonna find a big puddle.
I know, that's what I'm saying because as I remember, Ruby was cut off before she was able to say more things, right?
Yeah, because she had to waste a bunch of seconds saying, "Oh, are we ready?"
And also saying that Iron was a problem and everything. That definitely drives a lot of concern. So I'm just thinking, like, will there be people like there to do something because you still have the Aesops and Crow and Robin still kicking out in Mantle. They're just flying above it and everything. Like, what would happen with them?
I can only assume that you'd probably tell them to fly to Akuo, considering that would be the next place they're going to.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that ship has enough fuel in it to survive that trip.
Mm. Because everything's destroyed. They can't like get new items.
Yeah, this mine's completely gone, and I don't even know what exactly that thing runs on for fuel.
Yeah, and like Watts and Ironwood are dead.
Still question the Watt's death, but let's continue with the video.
We arrive in Pietro's workshop, which he operates voluntarily as opposed to it being any kind of government initiative to help people, and he details how Ironwood was changed by the fall of Beacon and has the council so scared they will agree with him, which, as we see, is not going great. Next, Grimm have broken in and Oscar notes the defences aren't doing much. Nora is not surprised, and after the fight is over and Penny leaves to deal with another alarm, the heroes get ambushed and arrested by the Aesops. Aesops, who Pietro is surprised to even see in Mantle, and who prioritised ambushing a licensed huntsman and some teenagers saving people over
No, they
fighting
no,
Licensed
no,
huntsman?
They,
No,
they,
they're not.
no, they prioritize they prioritize hunting down people who are potentially here to cause the same thing that happened at the fall of Beacon because they did not know who these people were.
And again, terrible AI. Like that's just really. I have to put the blame on that to Ruby writing or whatever because I don't know what's with that.
I don't know. The first we're seeing them being somewhat effective in Volume 2, and now here they're just glorified paperweights.
Like again, it's just like they really just can't either. I feel like their mindset either we make the AI competent and then the Grim loses no matter what, or we had to make them stupid and bad so the Grim will always win. Like I can't tell. I feel that's what their mindset is. Even though they could make these guys competent, not only competent but also have the AI shooting them, stopping them, but then also Team Ruby jumping in and freaking just ending them or something.
What's still funny is you see the robot shooting them, and the ice sabers are taking bullets. Yet apparently, one scene later, all it takes is a single bullet from Blake, and it's dead.
I don't remember that scene.
I do. It's
that.
stupid.
Oh yeah, there's another thing about Blake and everything. What was with that crap where Yang was just like yeah, Ruby, when it was just like John was just like, don't worry, Ruby will still love you. She's your sister after all, and she's just like, yeah, Ruby. What was with that? It just felt so weirdly forced in, because it's not like Blake. It's not like that Yang had like a heated argument with Blake. Like maybe if they had a private conversation about something, because they're in a relationship, maybe you should show that. I don't know. Having a private conversation, and then
considering, yeah, they had no screen time about anything of sort of a disagreement. In fact, the last thing I recall them really doing was having a grand old time dancing. Unless Blake was dancing that bad that they had an argument over.
yeah, and then they also had an argument in before catching Red Hood, but there's nothing really like bad. There was nothing like bad at that
they came to
freaking
an
crap.
agreement on that one that they could trust Robin for some inexplicable reason.
And then they fought really well against the Aesops. They teamwork, therefore showing their love for each other. Lesbian power, let's go.
Also bad writing because what was it? I think it was Elm. She had Blake
Yeah,
right in her arms. Could have just hooked her and just cuffed her up, and there she's out of the.
and throw her. Yeah. What's another thing? Oh yeah, right. They decided to feel so worried. Then they had like a scene where Yang was looking at Blake, and Blake was over there, like arms like on her hand, arms on her hand, and it's just like, again, why is this scene happening? This feels like we forgot a scene, like they forgot to put a scene where they had a private little conversation. Because again, it can make sense if they have a private conversation. They're in a relationship. She wants to help her girlfriend and all that stuff, and then again ends in a heated argument. And now she's having regrets over it because now she can't talk to her right now. And then once this happens, she can get better with them by like holding like what was it, like tapping their foreheads to each other to communicate, to show their love, and then have a conversation with RWBY because their argument was way bigger. Simple as that. I'm talking about something that's from Volume 8. Sorry about that.
The claim this was about the airship is bogus, given that if they had evidence, they'd have arrested Maria too, and the unauthorized use of weapons is pretty...
Stop with this! Okay, sorry. How would they know about Maria existing? How would they know about Maria existing ever? You can't keep saying... I think I know what he's saying. He's saying, oh, Cordovin would have said something about Maria. But Cordovin is on their side currently. What are you talking about? You said this the last time, and it makes just as little sense.
To mention how they ever explain how they can get a message over to Atlas? Because as far as I'm aware, the long-range communications are still down, so they would need to send a plane over.
Yep. Or I don't know, like I said before, like a broken record. Crow had had the ability to talk to Ironwood. It's just all this problem could have been solved, and it's just pissing me off because I feel like a broken record.
How do you think we feel?
No, you don't understand how I feel. No one understands me. I'm gonna listen to some punk rock music.
Disarms Mantle's
Also,
population, who are all...
Pause. Go a bit further back when he said, like, oh, they arrested Crow, a huntsman, and 4 teenagers for helping the city. Well, guess what? They are still not allowed to use their weapons because those trainees are not officiated. Guess what happened when RWBY used her weapon out when she wasn't a huntsman? She technically got in trouble with Ozpin, who then rewarded her.
And guess what? Ironwood did that. Ironwood did that as well. It was like, oh, okay, let's just make you guys legal. Okay, poof, done. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, in that scene, remember that time where Ironwood was like having a hard time just having like a gooey conversation? You know, it's just like, and then Penny's like your conversation is improving. Remember that conversation where she's like Ironwood was having like a hard time talking like in like a much more emotional level. He's not good with like personal speeches. Not like he's fine. Like I think he's absolutely fine with like regular speeches because he's been fine with that. But it's just like his personal ones. Like maybe he's not the best, and he feels awkward and he walks away. And then Penny's like, your speech has been improving. I like that.
I see.
Already exposed and in danger. Plus, again, Crow at least has a license. This is a major, massive red flags, and while Ironwood does present himself rather openly in a friendly manner, none of that actually undoes anything he's been doing up to this point. Because Ironwood being nice to these people he knows and likes doesn't
big man hug, yeah.
Validate everything he's doing to Mantle or would have done to them if they weren't part of his in-group. Ironwood does present these draconian measures as temporary over systemic, laughs off the
draconian
theft, and
measures.
the relic.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, there's so many freaking transitions.
He is having a fun time with, I think it was like...
You know what?
Google
Fair
Docs
enough.
Google Docs presentation.
Fair enough. Let him go wild.
Anyway, repeat that. I'm trying so many transitions. I now forgot his point.
Being nice to these people he knows and likes doesn't magically invalidate everything he's doing to Mantle or would have done to them if they weren't part of his.
Okay, I want to know.
He's not doing anything
I want to know
bad.
what he would have done. I want to know what he would have done because he's like, oh, he's being terrible to Mantle. It's like, what's your plan? What would your plan be, Xelrider, to help to cause all this to not happen, cause all of his Volume 7 to not happen? Because I swear to God, listening to Team RWBY would not have helped you. It would have been worse.
All Ironwood ever hears is your plan stinks. Your plan stinks. What are these? He always asks like, no one ever offers him a solution. No one ever thinks like, hey, maybe you should do this instead. They say, well, if you didn't do the embargo, maybe people wouldn't be so mad at you. Like,
okay, then give your idea.
He will do everything in his power
to throughout Volume 7 and in these fucking videos. I've heard zero plans other than what he has been given, and they're just like, no, but you're wrong. Zellrider's doing the same thing also, but you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like he will just blindly agree with anything in this show, and it's just he will be like, "Yes, Ironwood to RWBY, that's a bad thing." I bet money that when we get to the point where he lies to Team RWBY, he'll say that's bad, but he'll explain like he did before, like he previously just did for a while back that it makes sense why Team RWBY lied to Ironwood. It's justified. Even though he's being trustworthy, he's not showing anything bad. He is showing that he has a plan. He is being cooperative. He wants the best out of everything.
He's doing his best with the info he currently has.
And it doesn't help that they never once just tell him the truth until it was basically almost too late. It was just too late. Because,
he's pretty much near his breaking point, then they tell him the truth.
Yeah. And when Salem is getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Again, like I said, I will go freaking like a ravenous beast on freaking that game because I'll just be thinking throughout this entire game they could have just said anything that I just notify of anything. But yeah, I'm interested to see like what would they do for that game because obviously they're adding like making new characters and a new conflict or whatever.
That won't matter in the long run.
That won't matter. That's another problem. Just what's gonna happen to them? Well, that's the thing. Like, no, seriously. Like, what's gonna happen to them? Like, are they all gonna die or something? Like, what?
They're gonna go on the airship to Vacuo.
Were they just visiting or like?
Well, clearly, because they're not dressed for the winter.
So was Team RWBY, but who's caring?
Does present these draconian measures as temporary over systemic, laughs off the theft and returns the relic, inviting them into his confidence and even admits that he doesn't seem trustworthy. Winter's scene with the cuffs is comical and her main concern is the kid's safety, followed by the Aesops playing off the arrest as a miscommunication rather than moral opposition. Also, prior to seeing Ironwood, we were further softened to him.
Because it was a miscommunication.
It was.
And it was mostly on the part of Team RWBY's fault.
Again, like
don't
really
play
bad.
this off. Sometimes, they're just trying to brush it aside. No, this was your fault, but we're sorry.
This wasn't corruption of like a corrupted police. This is just a real misunderstanding. And in the end, just like in real life, like imagine this like a real police situation. No one was hurt. It was a miscommunication. No guns were fired or anything. People were arrested and then let them go.
I'm still trying to figure out what he means by moral opposition.
It's not things got a little heated because again we captured these people, but everything's fine. He apologized. In fact, he actually gave information of his plan and gave them license.
That he's saying that they didn't arrest him for reasons that like, we're arresting you guys because we don't agree with you.
They're just arresting them because, they're foreign entities in the city on an undocumented ship.
Yeah, very reasonable of why they arrested them. Again, this all could have been solved if we literally just go all the way back and just not stolen an aircraft, whatever.
Just wondering how long that trip was, because then, if anything, John could have boosted White's summoning ability, either summon a big flying bee or many flying bees.
Oh no. Oh, you're making me remember something that I have a problem in Volume A, but I'll talk about that later.
You mean when everyone was falling and no one did anything to help?
No. The fact that John never once decides to go with Ren to help him, help him with his freaking ability to nullify people's emotions, because he literally did that in Volume 6, and it's like, okay, that worked. Why don't we do that again?
Sorry. Oh, but you see, Ren's semblance had evolved, therefore he can cover an entire city by himself now.
And
I
you also
guess
get
that's
that
just
Bruce
gonna
ability
happen.
for some reason.
That is a weird thing that they're doing. Just adding more new things to it.
I'm just trying to still figure out how he knew what petals mean what.
I also love because I forgot who talked about it, but it's just like this is an easy way for the writers to explain someone's emotions without showing them. You know, just tell. Just the absolute power of tell, don't show.
Some life is strange bullshit, and I will keep saying that.
By Forrest being presented as more of an oath, while also getting info on the Happy Huntresses and their fight for better conditions in Mantle. This all offsets the bad first.
I don't remember much of him talking about the Happy Huntresses. Guys?
I remember a little bit, but not much.
I remember him was talking about like, hey, Robin, gonna help and make things better. How? I don't know.
And then we have
He was stealing stuff.
and then we have that terrible situation within like the assassination and everything, and the debate. Her not saying anything. Like, I mean, could she say anything? I feel like she could say anything. And also the power of stupid Robin not being... Okay. I have a question. I actually have a genuine question, because I don't think this was ever answered. And I'm positive they never answered it. Like, what can Robin use her semblance with? Like, can she use it against Penny? Is it a semblance thing? I feel like it's because she has an aura. Like
Amber Alert?
Sorry. Amber Alert? Because I'm thinking either it's like a human thing or it's an aura thing, and I don't know which one is it, because they don't really explain that. So what's with the truth thing? Because if it's an aura thing, then hell yeah, freaking Penny should be able to tell the truth about what was going on.
Namek, I think I've thought about this before, but I think it's an aura thing, which is like anything that's powered up by aura, thing connected to
We
that
have
aura.
a problem.
Yeah.
Then we have a problem.
But the Penny is a ginger and therefore has no soul.
No soul.
So whatever she says, it's not gonna even light up green or red. It's just gonna be there.
And that's why she's a robot, no soul.
Impression, but doesn't erase it, and the group is clearly disquieted and off balance in their manner throughout this, with Yang being the most blunt. This is all part of RT's game to make sure the twist of Ironwood's full tilt into villainy feels like a twist while still laying all the groundwork and details for the audience. The ensuing episodes further dig into this with the Aesop's...
How can you make a twist? Like, you make it clearly obvious that RT and everything made it clearly obvious that Ironwood will become an antagonist. It's just how we got there was horribly executed.
Horribly executed.
Yeah,
forcing in a out of nowhere semblance that was never once told us. Like, okay, first of all, okay, for a second, let's just say fuck show. Let's go tell. They never told us. They never told us anything about this off screen in a podcast. So that's the explanation. Garbage. Worst goddamn semblance. No one has changed my mind with that, because I'm right.
Essentially picking on
it's
on
worse out of pure reason that it was never explained.
they're essentially picking on someone with a mental disorder.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, I'm like, maybe I should say that. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but it does kind of feel like it because again, he can't control himself. He legitimately cannot control himself. And not only that, Trent. It's not just the fact they didn't tell us anything. It's also the fact that it's such a detriment. It's such a minus thing. This doesn't help you with anything. This is just like what you said, like just a forced in like thing to make Ironwood go crazy. Because
You would think he would come to his senses after his aura
got down. Yeah, and no. The answer is no. He kills white hair Hitler, rich guy.
Jacques.
What's his name? Jacques.
Jacques.
Anyway, he kills Jacques and decides to fight Winter, and then Winter decides to. Oh yeah. Before that, freaking Ironwood decides to shed a tear, which I guess we should care about that because. Again, it's like that scene makes me feel like they were trying to convince you that Ironwood and Winter are not having like this really well written like story that they decided to broke off and that we can clearly understand there's both motives. Like it just feels like that. It's just like
her line of "You sacrificed everyone else." I'm like,
oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What about his limbs? You're talking to a man who's pretty much given up most of his body for this cause.
I remember that. Oh my god, dude! You sacrificed nothing, and it's just it's so stupid. It's so goddamn stupid because he ripped out his arm.
I completely forgot about that line. Did she actually say you sacrificed nothing?
Yeah, she did.
And it's just
she sacrificed everything, everyone else.
I hate that as well. That's
wow.
I remember watching a video where someone was just like they were like seeing how freaking contradictory, how much she contradicts herself with that because it's like he cuts to a scene of him ripping his arm and then in the end of the video it's just Ironwood hitting Winter and the video just ends. Maybe I should find that video, but yeah. Not only that, but I like that moment where Ironwood just pulls off his arms, just stop Watts. I like that.
Get back to the video. Ironwood's fall was pretty much predictable to happen. It's just that RT did the worst way possible.
The worst way possible. No, this gotta be worse.
Right now, I currently can't think of any, but they handled it very terribly. And this, no good. They think they did good for some reason.
Becoming like mentors and friendly with the cast, with Ironwood also being contrasted against Jacques. When Ironwood is called out by Jean, he seemingly acknowledges his faults, but I would note he doesn't actually, do anything to fix it. He then gives them their licenses.
What was that scene?
Said he doesn't do anything to fix it. Was he ever given an option to fix it? Was he ever, I don't know, told alternate solutions? No, he's just told he's wrong again and again.
So John decided to be a snarky ass and just be like, "Oh, you can't change all this stuff." But again, it doesn't help that they tell him nothing. Again, I feel like we're all going through like what was it that Voss said before, like the definition of insanity is doing over and over and over. Just keep on saying this. Nothing's gonna change. No, that's like another thing. Ironwood was super compassionate towards that girl, that old woman that had that still had the winter winter maiden abilities and everything. Like, it's not like they decided to euthanize her or anything. They wanted to comfort her.
Zell pretty much says that he sentenced her to death.
Wait, who?
Zell says Ironwood sentenced her to death when sent Winter to collect the maiden's power.
Because of course, that was sentencing to death, not just comforting her and not only comforting
the
her.
current situation happening at hand, which is Dalen's forces are now at hand. You gotta get the staff, and in order to get the staff, we need the maiden's power. And a geriatric old lady isn't going to be the most cooperative.
And that's like they also plan. It was actually a nice plan. It's like, okay, not only that we're gonna comfort her, but we're gonna have Winter be the main person that's gonna comfort her, because she's the one
the only person.
Yeah, the only person. My bad. The only person. That was nice. I think that was a nice plan because again, not only that they're thinking about their goals of just like trying to save the world and do the best they can, but also have this woman have a nice life, a nice last hour life before she dies. But no, let's just say no to that. Ironwood is shitty. He's such a shitty asshole. And there was something that Winter said, right? Weiss said about that, right? I forgot. She had a conversation.
What she said was, "Oh, Ironwood planned out your life for you. He didn't give you any options."
Give you any options? Right.
Nope, that pretty much was an option. Say yes or no. Like, do you want? He groomed you into this. I'm like, no.
And then didn't she like once like look down like, oh, maybe she's right.
Yeah, she
Wasn't
did.
that?
Did a stupid nod of acknowledgement, like, oh no, maybe.
Oh my god, is she right? I thought my relationship with Ironwood was healthy, but it's toxic.
Really,
no way.
It's really funny how people are given choices, but to RT, that's not a choice at all.
They're not really giving a choice for Ironwood to I don't know, explain himself, to at least give us like an understandable reason of why he acts like this. No, immediately we have to hate him immediately because he's doing something bad, even though he's being so reasonable.
People are sad under his rule. He needs to die.
He must die. He needs to die. Okay, Ichigo, you can unpause it.
A goofy speech, and Clover encourages them to take missions to help Mantle, but this is all individualized. It's not ever addressing the systemic issues which are impacting thousands of lives. The cast also begin to express doubt about continuing to hide things from Ironwood here, but others note that they will tell him when confident he can handle it, and also that nothing about the first episode has fundamentally changed. A fact we are then reminded of when Watts noted that Mantle's security system remains totally neglected, letting him casually kill people with traffic collisions and cover Tyrion's tracks. Also, while Jacques a bastard, his role as opposition to Ironwood is basically tragic. The worst person you knew made a great point. In Volume 4, he highlights the harm an embargo would do and that Ironwood is becoming a dictator, to which Ironwood just says Jacques should stay on his good side then. In Volume 7, he's furious Ironwood has effectively stolen private property through military bylaw, meaning he doesn't even need a vote or even to tell the owner. Our attention is deflected via
the horror. It's not like you defended people doing bad things or anything, aka RWBY. Oh no. And you're not fine with this? How can you not be fine with this?
My brain just washed over. I almost did not absorb any of that. What? I just heard rambling, ramble.
There's been cars like right next to me, so I have barely been able to hear that. Can you rewind that 10 seconds? Like all three of us all just didn't understand a single word.
No, I understood. I'm just pissed off. I'm just mumble pissing.
In Volume 7, he's furious Ironwood has effectively stolen private property through military bylaw, meaning he doesn't even need a vote or even to tell the owner. Our attention is deflected via his interactions with Weiss, but it's all there. Emphasized further by Marrow summarizing the escort mission of the kids.
Is he trying to say that the bad thing is like, yeah, there's something here that we need, that's gonna help us with the fighting against Salem. We can't tell you about Salem, but what is he trying? What is he trying to say with this?
Okay, maybe you should like
No.
rewind a bit more.
No, we're not rewinding it more.
No,
You can-
Tryon, we have to.
You can
We
get
have
that
to
point.
actually make.
Y'all can get that point. I don't understand it.
No, Tryon,
is
we
it
have
trying
to
to
be the
say
better
that
man here and go back. We have to have this
Right.
dude speak 100% clearance. You know, he needs to be clear. We need to counter arguments. We need to admit that we got some mistakes or something. We got to go back.
I'm just trying to is he trying to say that Doc, a horrible person, made a good point against Ironwood? Therefore,
Yeah. What?
I think
What
that's
do
what
you
he's
mean?
saying.
bad?
And the thing is, I don't understand why he's trying to say that. Like,
And that's the thing, Tryon. You're saying you think. Let's go back. Let's go back.
In Volume 4, he highlights the harm an embargo would do and that Ironwood is becoming a dictator, to which Ironwood
that's
just
more
says
like
Jacques should stay on his good side.
Wow.
okay, I
Okay.
think I understand what
He's
he's
more
saying.
so
I think I
concerned about the
understand what he's saying
embargo
with
because of his
just
own revenues. Not so much concerned for anyone else, just his own revenues.
and Zelvar is trying to spin this into being, oh, he's saying how the embargo is going to do harm, and not pointing out that he's only saying harm for me. He's not saying harm in general. He's saying this is going to affect me, and so stop doing this. Okay.
See, that was good, right?
No, it wasn't, because now I think he's he's a dumbass, and he also disingenuous, because before that I just thought I was being stupid. Now I just know, yeah.
Well,
Fuck
that's a
it.
good thing. Now you realize you're not being stupid. I don't see the problem there. I don't think you're understanding the reason why I did this, Triton.
Okay, just press play.
Just press play.
In Volume 7, he's furious Ironwood has effectively stolen private property through military bylaw, meaning he doesn't even need a vote or even to tell the owner. Our attention is deflected by
Okay,
his
no,
interaction.
stop it. No, okay. Namek, yeah, rewinding is sometimes helpful, but now I hate this dude even more. He is very picky with his words right now.
Really? I would have never known. Wow, really?
No, because in Volume 4, because what he's trying to say is, in Volume 7, he's upset that he's stealing private property. No, he's upset that he's stealing my property that I'm no longer using for something else. This is fucking this is fucking bullshit. Like, I don't even know
Deep
what the
breaths.
fucking
Deep
argument
breaths.
is.
Take your inhaler. Triton, take your
I
inhaler.
don't know what the type of fallacy is, but it's like he's trying to make a Jock look better than he actually is, because Jock is saying, because I'm pretty sure, according to the story, it was like, this is my property, but I'm no longer using it at all for anything. So it's like, so Ironwood's saying, I didn't need to vote for this because this is no longer you're not in use of this. And now he's trying to say, like, oh, Jog is upset that he's stealing private property in general, not finishing the sentence of, he's stealing my specific property that I'm not using, and making it sound like, making it Ironwood sound worse and Jock look better, and then
Okay.
also painting it in the light of, Jock's a terrible person, and even he's making a good point on Ironwood. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Anything to paint Ironwood in the wrong.
See, you got an entire rant out there. That's good. I'm glad that we rewinded.
Is it good, Namek?
Yes. Gavin, was that good?
Dubious.
Gavin's not paying attention.
Thank you.
Bet you're a
Thank you,
doggy,
Ichigo.
Triton.
Thank
Go
you.
pet him.
No, Ichigo, press play.
With White, but it's all there. Emphasized further by Marrow summarizing the escort mission of the kids as not actually any danger, but parents fret, and that attracts Grimm. But we've seen Grimm in the city. There's apparently a giant saber in the sewers. That sounds like really good reasons to be worried. Anyway, we get reminded of more
do the
reasons.
people know about that, or was that their security system seeing that?
And
a
also,
person
the
saw it,
entire reason you tell people not to be worried, at least in the RWBY world, is that you don't get more Grimm. So even if there is a Grimm around, you don't just go, "Hey everyone, there's Grimm in the sewers, be worried," because that's literally the opposite of what you want.
You want good things to happen.
I don't think Zell understands why why information is being hidden. Because if information isn't being hidden, then it gets worse. Because now more people are worried, more Grimm is going to show up, and now its cycle continues. It's called a negative feedback loop in science.
I don't
Ryan,
think RT studied that.
Ryan, can I just say, are you like in heaven? Because like I just hear just beautiful noises.
I am on this. I am currently walking my dog on the street right now. I'm actually at my old middle school. Currently, I'm just. That's why you can hear a lot of cars. Actually, can you hear that?
So you're just
Wait, can you
you're
hear
just
that?
having so you're just having a debate while walking your dog. I heard a car before, but not really. I just hear
Not just
angelic
then.
birds.
Oh, that's actually odd.
So wait, sorry. So you're actually just having an argument and debate while you're walking your dog.
Only since 7:30.
That's interesting.
To distrust Ironwood when we first meet Robin, i.e. Robin Hood, protector of the downtrodden by theft and violence against oppressive
Hey, Gavin,
governments.
that was a really obvious.
There it is. There's the heart wipe.
Again.
Listen, I was walking home from school one day, and I was like, Robin Hood, hey, isn't Robin Hill kind of like that? And then I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. And very, very, very nice, Gavin. You get an A for effort.
Characters either get named after colors or named after what they're based on.
I mean, I guess that's neat. But then you realize that there's not many. You're gonna run out of colors.
Yeah, they realized that very
Nah, they can
soon.
just
I
redo
want to say
colors.
as soon as Sun appeared, considering Sun. Darn, what's his last name?
Wukong.
Something.
You know,
Yeah.
like the journey to the east.
It's
Ah.
Journey
I
to
think
the
that's what it
West,
was
but he
off
says
based off
Journey
of.
to the
Yeah,
East.
it is just.
Okay,
That's
that's
Wukong.
that's like the thing.
Okay, I'm not knowledgeable of those types of things.
Okay, so the idea of just like naming people with specific things, like again, obviously has a limit. But I feel like a way to just kind of make that better is to, I don't know, just have a situation where some type of fictional like whatever thing, like a scientist is having like adopted children and he's like doing experiments with them and then he decides to call them by like different colors or something. Like at least now it's limited. Now you have like 5 children that are named by colors or something. Instead of having a bunch of people being named colors and then just running out of ideas and just dropping that color spiel.
Still laughing at Terracotta's name. It's just Terracotta.
Okay, quick
What
question
is
on Reddit.
terracotta
You,
like as a
you
color?
can't hear anything else other than my voice right now, right?
I can hear angelic birds. I said that before.
See?
Yeah, I
So,
heard
Okay,
it.
never.
Terracotta is kind of like a, say, dingy orange. Like, oh,
Exactly what you'd expect such a character to do. If anything, she's nicer. She gives Clover plenty of chances to explain why supplies
Pause.
men.
Let's read this out. Oh, about those supplies meant for Mantle. Lost. Just a checkup. Refuse to explain
Okay,
this.
well let's do this point by point. We're lost. Yes, you can't explain. We're not allowed to explain this. First of all, so he's trying to brush her off right now. Just a checkup excuse. Yeah, because either way, you can't explain that. You're not allowed to explain this, and there's no reason she needs to know this right now. I refuse to explain this. Stonewalling. What else is he supposed to say? He is not supposed to explain this. and you can't be. Songwriter would just wants everybody to.
The tower project is supposed to remain hidden. It's not going to be remain hidden if you tell anyone and everyone who asks, "Hey, where is
Also,
this
what about that
going?"
last one? Become a successful politician, then come back. When does he fucking say this? He
At the
says,
very end,
"I
he's like,
hope."
"I hope you do this through the proper channels
Yes,
when you get elected."
yes, but this isn't. That's not. That is weird. Never
The
mind.
reliance on rank is not the issue right there that Zell's trying to point. It's that, hey, if you do become an elected official, then you could talk it up with Ironwood, and then we can hash it out properly. You being a random civilian right now, not so much. It's still kind of funny that Zell like paints her in such a wonderful light when they're currently in the cold. Cold will kill them within minutes. Robin was more than willing to fight them. So if they fought and lost their aura, guess what? They're gonna die in that cold.
The story really just glosses over that.
That people will freeze to death. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Robin Hill was just about to let them die in the cold because, I mean, after you steal the flags, what are you gonna do? Like, capture them for what? Like,
Yeah,
It's
like
kind of
you're
more
either
like what
saying
that be?
she's gonna hold them hostage, or capture them, which is, or just leave them there to die.
Yeah,
And
still
every single option doesn't sound really good.
honestly what I find more funny is the fact that darn it, what was his name? May has an invisibility semblance. She could just cloak herself, attach herself to one of the transports, and see where the transport is going. Relay it back to Robin.
That's too smart. Okay. Like what Deb said before. Like again, the only way that the reason why they would steal these things are to like fix that hole um that was on Mantle. Remember that hole in the wall? And I don't recall them ever using the supplies, right?
As far as we know, they never used the supplies that Robin stole.
Let
We
me
have no
check.
idea what the supplies are. Just a bunch of crates. For all we know, they could just have a bunch of panels in them. And what good are panels?
And that's the
Uh,
good
No,
thing.
let's check that out. Let's look
They
at
could
this.
have
I'm
done a
gonna look
good
it up.
thing. They could have done a good thing where it's just like Robin actually plugged up that hole, you know?
that hole still remains open. No one really. Apparently, hiring contract workers is too much.
Okay, Ruby. What's the best way to explain that? Maybe I'll just like find a video on YouTube then.
What are you trying to like explain? Maybe we can help.
Oh,
The
I'm looking
hole.
up what
If
happened with the
if
supplies Robin stole. The first thing I get is, why does Robin get away with so much in this volume? Because she's Robin. Okay, what is this?
If
Nope,
anything,
this
why
isn't what I
should have been the
wanted.
one to plug up that hole,
I'm
considering she
getting
could
Nico Robin.
make a giant wall with some earth dust, as we saw in Volume 6.
Huh? I'm getting nothing. Especially, yeah, they were really not giving me.
She could have just grabbed her weapon, some earth dust, stabbed the ground, bam, new wall.
They
Apparently, no, can't have that. She's busy doing exactly. What's she doing throughout like that entire like. Here we only see Ruby. What are the rest of the team doing? At least with Ren and Nora, we see them patrolling the wall. John is taking care of kids. What's Weiss doing?
she's training with her sister. It's what I remember.
That's all she does? She never once helps the people? Seems pretty elitist if you ask me.
no,
I
they're
mean,
excused.
I
They're
guess you can
excused.
see, to be the most charitable to something I don't think should ever be charitable to. Maybe there's probably some other missions he went on. What the fuck? Oh,
Yeah,
But
they might
you can find
explain
them
that
all
in the
out in that
game.
new game,
In that
Arrowfell, I
new
think it's
game,
called.
yeah. Well, watch it be the best thing in the world. yeah,
David.
looking at it, like nothing, and I mean nothing, was plugged up in that hole. Oh, so I'll clip it. Funny enough, there's actually an entire someone decided to show all the episodes in Volume 7. It's just there's actually subtitles, like Spanish subtitles, but everything else is like that's the real deal. So I'll just show it. What's the best angle?
Get back to what is being shown on the screen. Like, does Zell expect for Clover to do? Just tell Robin all the plans and all the secrets because Robin asks threateningly.
That's what Zell Rider wants. Oh, let's see it.
Hey, the wall is not even plugged.
Let me do this.
There's not really an attempt. No, just maybe I might be missing a scene that they actually did, but it does not
Yeah, the
look
wall
like
was
it's
still
unplugged.
so it was still broken down. They did not fix it at
It
all.
was never patched, as far as I recall. And Nora were walking right past it.
Ren and Nora and all that stuff. Oh my god. Okay. Pardon me if you said this before, but you said before, but Nora being like, I hate keeping
all
secrets.
these lies and secrets.
I had a lie secret. I hate all these secrets. You already said that, right? Because I was too busy.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was too busy finding the clip, and so you said that and all that stuff and being hypocritical. You also talked about how elitist she is because she's not really doing a change at all. Which again, that would really help her character because we can understand her. We can understand her perspective there. I can at least understand that. But like the real problem is again that line. If she actually did something, I wouldn't have no complaint with her. Because again, she can disagree with Ironwood. Unlike this dude, I can at least see other perspectives. And if they made Noah a bit more, valid here, it's just like that's the thing. Like, do you think Nora should have been the one to get Robin because she's feeling a lot of sympathy towards the
People of Mantle?
people of Mantle? Yeah. Do you think
Here's
she
what I
should
think
have
it should
been
have happened. I think it should have been instead of Blake and Yang having the argument, it should have been Ren and Nora. Since Ren has shown, and only one of them.
Oh, absolutely!
Oh god,
I
that would have been
forgot
so
about
much
that.
better.
Only one of them. One of them goes, and then the other one has to be torn between either telling Ironwood about what happened, or keeping quiet. And Ren waits until it's too late, and that's that's part of the reason why they're put on the wanted list. Or then have Ren tell Ironwood a little bit before, and then Ren is working with Ironwood in Volume 8, and Nora has to eventually either fight Ren or talk it out with him. If you want,
what do you think?
Blake
What do you
and
think,
Yang should
Gavin?
not have
Sound
had
like
this
such
conversation
better
at all.
options.
Blake and Yang should not have been the ones to have the conversation. It should have been Ren and Nora because Ren had a clear bias towards Ironwood, and Nora, you could say she has
bias for Mantle. Because again, we can understand. We don't need to be clearly. Again, her past has shown that she's been like picked on, and because she's like the little girl and she's like poor and everything.
Yes.
Fun of the orphan
Doesn't
child.
That sound much better than but Blake and Yang just working together with it to doing it for some reason, for no reason that should have been beforehand.
So then we get more Bumblebee.
Well, Bumblebee. Well, here's the thing. They could have done that in I don't know, put more episodes. That's another thing. Okay, here's the thing. Do you think that RWBY Volume 7 needed more episodes to explain some things?
Yes.
Or
yes.
They don't need any more. Okay.
Who goes with what allegiance? And that could have led into who cares more about saving the rest of Mantle? Who cares about who is more distrustful of Ironwood? And you see throughout the volume of who is on what allegiance, and then that goes into who splits up and who in episode 1 of Volume 8. You have little secret. You have little things of that throughout Volume 7, and then even if you don't see it on the first watch, you can see it. You can see it's there.
Okay,
If anything, they probably could have cut down that election plot line.
I
That
really
was
like my idea of Ren being teamed with Ironwood.
would have been interesting at the very least.
I mean, I'm definitely down on the idea that I should have been Ren and Nora doing that. I'm not sure about the other parts, but it's not bad. At least it's something.
It's given clear setup, and that would be the payoff. There would be any sort of payoff, as opposed to literally nothing.
And it helps that we get to see both Ren and Nora have different opposing freaking ideologies, or just ideas of like, oh, Ironwood is speaking. I'm trusting Ironwood with this, versus Nora being like, screw you, because you're messing this up. Mantle.
That's play.
Mantle that Mantle needs for people to not die are in the middle of the tundra. He repeatedly blocks her, lying, refusing her offer of trust, not letting anyone else speak, and ultimately falling back on military authority.
What trust? What trust? Threats? I
don't know. Threats sound pretty trusting to me. She looks like someone who would definitely break my arm if she said it. Anyway, the other point of not letting other people talk, he knows what Robin can do. Also, the fact that these people are technically new on the job, so he doesn't know if they will accidentally let something slip. So it's better for him to talk.
Yeah.
Having any kind of leg to stand on. Then, Robin decides to take what Mantle needs because doing what's right is more important than what's legal to her, and as she said, Mantle needs those supplies now. The fact that
none of that. There's nothing. She doesn't use it to make a fortress. Like maybe in volume 8, she could use those things to, I don't know, bring more shelter to the people, because we're having again the winter thing. We're having issues like that or something. I don't know. Just nothing happened. All these freaking materials were just all in vain. Nothing.
Another thing. Why?
Anything like
you're saying doing what's right over what's illegal. They don't know what Clover is doing. So her trying to go and steal from them, she might make things worse, and she eventually does make things worse.
Just trying to think, if Robin had not been taking all those supplies, I'm fairly certain that the tower would have been more than ready already.
Yeah, I'm gone for a second.
Oh, okay. Let's try to continue with his talking points then. Like,
I mean, we can't really, because he's.
Oh no, I'm trying. What he just previously said was like saying like not letting anyone talk, refusing to answer Robin. I'm just like, and look, Robin is threatening these people. Why should he answer to these threats? Not to mention the fact that she is running for a seat. So shouldn't this automatically eliminate her candidacy?
Oh, this will hurt her. She just will. This in the end, is always.
I think I talked with either Kaiser or one of you guys. So it was like, and it's like one of you guys brought a point. It's like, she shouldn't be allowed to run after that point. This is hello?
What?
Okay, never mind. I thought I cut out.
What's your feelings on this, Gavin?
Not here right now.
Oh. Oh wait, so he's not here. Okay, so
if Zellwriter finds this video, it's like, what do you think? He's not. Hopefully, he just doesn't watch it at this point, because I don't want to have to get into an argument of like, you are fucking wrong at almost every single point.
Not every single point. The minor.
No, like a lot of major points.
I'm back.
This is a video that is in disagreement with him. He's never gonna take the time to watch it.
Good.
So what's your thoughts on this so far? Like, you got anything to say? Like the Red and North stuff? Like, do you agree? Do you
I'm
disagree?
surprised it's been taking this long. Actually, I didn't think a 13-minute video would be almost 2 hours, but I'd say a half an hour was probably Dutch doing.
With only a question and seems disappointed Clover wasn't straight with her, could also suggest that if he had given her a good answer, she might have backed off, as even after this she still wants to know why Amity matters so much. This is a lot of
No,
reminders
she wouldn't.
that
She would have
Ironwood
stolen the materials. What are you talking about?
Her
Plus-
last line was, "We're gonna get those materials no matter what." Doesn't care about Amity. He just wants those supplies very badly and will kill for them.
And also, the plan was supposed to be hush hush, you know. And he decided again, I trusted these people that nothing bad would happen. But you know, bad things happen, and we should always blame Ironwood for that.
All the world's problems are thanks to Ironwood.
Cancer, that's Ironwood.
Salem, Ironwood.
Kids going to war, that's Ironwood. Remember Team Funk? Oh yeah, they're in trouble. They're in deep shit, man.
They're just kids, dude. Marrow, you are just a few years older than them.
The Flint Coal.
Yeah, remember the time where I changed my name for Flickle and someone screenshot it? I think it was you.
is not as honest as he seems, and again, we see Ruby obviously disturbed by all this. We later see that Ironwood dislikes...
But you guys were not honest. But that's fine. That's fine.
Working with Robin, and several characters note that as a concern. This is also contrasted against Robin emphasizing
let's see,
the need
pause.
to work together.
I could see Ironwood seeing that as a concern if Robin gets elected, because more than likely he won't be able to have his hold on trying to fix what he needs to accomplish the task he's trying to do. Why is that such a...
It's a good task. It's a good plan. Again, like get information, basically fix the what Ozpin had for like the communication and everything. Just like have this one satellite.
Everyone know.
It's not a bad plan, and once he reveals it to everybody, it's like, okay, cool. It's nothing like bad to keep a secret. It's not like we're keeping a secret of the matings or anything.
It just needs time for it to actually be ready, because there's no point in saying, hey, we're going to do all this and have it not be ready, rather than, hey, we're doing all this and it's ready.
I can understand, at least to some extent, that it's a bit suspicious, but you know, but we're the people who know about the secret, so it's not bad. If we had the perspective of like Robin, then I guess we can like be a little bit suspicious. Like I said before, we know the plan. It's not a bad plan. But then
they're gun ho for it.
They're gun ho for it. They don't tell anything. They're the greatest in the universe.
To Zell, and this is coming from a conversation with him, he believes that Team RWBY didn't know what they were transporting.
Why wouldn't they?
Make them as innocent as possible. Else they are an accessory to Ironwood's alleged crimes. Of what was it? He's always like so adamant about it. Oh darn it! What was it? Embezzlement. That's what he always called it.
Ah, yes. Embezzlement.
He called Ironwood's scheme to fix the tower an embezzlement scheme.
Nice.
He has to think that RWBY and co. don't know anything about that in order to absolve them from actually helping him.
together with the Aesops despite their differences. After the election massacre, Ironwood installs a temporary prohibition on assembly, there will be no public gatherings of any kind, and that people must conduct their business and return home before curfew, claiming it's for their safety. This is despite him
massacre.
taking
There was a
off his head.
massacre.
There's a literal mass murderer. One of Salem's crazed assassin is in this city.
Not only has gone loose, but people are thinking that Penny is the murderer.
Okay, that's always a stupid plot point.
Oh yeah, very stupid. But still, people think that we've been Ironwood's plotting something. Like he needs to get things under control to like easily prove that Penny is not bad, because we know that she's not bad.
I'm still like baffled at like why didn't Fiona step up and say, "Hey, that wasn't Penny. That was some random guy that attacked me."
Oh,
She should have night vision.
Yeah, night vision. Okay, yeah, night vision.
They have night vision until they don't.
You could also use the freaking truth thing on Fiona as well, I guess.
I say that because it's funny because in Volume 2, Nick and Son were in a room full of faunuses. What do they do to escape? They turn off the lights.
Turn off the lights.
That's just funny.
Like, I guess that would work on Roman, but not.
The rest of the faunus would see them clear as day.
Like, what are you doing?
Mantle's defences, not updating their security, which Pietro reminds us of again, and giving them a skeleton crew that barely helps when they're under attack. But their safety is really important to him. This also leaves Robin with no means of campaigning or organising.
Yeah, again, fair enough, but they're just paperweights. It's just very weird how terrible these things are.
Thanks to the plot. Robots are about as useful because of the writing for them. Not because of Ironwood, because of the writing.
No, it's because of Ironwood.
It's really funny because this is also another chat I had with Zell, because he was really, 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 really convinced that if Ironwood had just taken one soldier with him to battle Watts, he wouldn't have lost his arm. We know for a fact any nameless or faceless mooks that are fighting pretty much contribute nothing to a fight.
Yeah.
It's also funny because he said Ironwood should have been putting all his forces into saving the city. For some reason, he could have just taken one soldier out, but then he would have been like, "Oh, why doesn't he just send all his forces to help Mantle?" He likes to move his goalposts a lot.
Civilian capacity, leaving her to steal and redistribute materials for Amity back into Mantle, which leaves Ironwood kicking around the idea of martial law and dismissing Mantle as a few city blocks in front of the cast. Nora argues vehemently against this and his claims that he or Atlas are sacrificing anything when he's foisted the entire burden onto Mantle, with the only thing he's sacrificed being a good reputation down there.
Oh, hey, Nora. Tired of seers and lies? Are you hiding?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, martial law is an iffy thing, and sometimes but also sometimes desperate times come for desperate measures. Desperate times come to desperate measures. Sorry.
Yeah, but please give another option.
Another option, yeah, again. This seems desperate. No one's really thinking of a better idea.
I'm willing to bet that if the writers had thought of an alternative idea, that would have just said, well, Ironwood would have just shot it down.
Well, we don't know that because it doesn't help that they never cooperated with Ironwood for the past week.
No, we know the opposite because Ironwood, because they made a plan with Robin and to capture Tyrion, right?
But of course, help out the person that immediately decided to go rogue once she lost. And does he even know that it was rigged?
Reminded me of another thing because I was talking to him about Robin and such, and when it comes to that, Bell was really convinced that Robin was all Robin's plan. I'm like, no, Watch the scene. She wanted to go at Robin all by herself. Ironwood was the one who insisted that she have Crow and Clover as backup.
Argues vehemently against this and his claims that he or Atlas are sacrificing anything when he's foisted the entire burden onto Mantle, with the only thing he's sacrificed being a good reputation down there. RWBY also highlights that he's playing into Salem's hands by squeezing Mantle, which is
pause. I remember something. It was just like where Ironwood doesn't really care about like what people think about him. He's just trying to fix something, right? Because I remember him saying that in the same episode that John decided to just make fun of him or something. I remember that. He was
a
like
sassy comment about the embargo.
But then he's just like, I don't really care. Like, I'm trying to do the best for the people. I don't know. It's
But he needs a good reputation if he wants the people to trust him.
Yeah. But he's trying his best.
Highly accurate, as Tyrion said in Volume 6, if General Ironwood comes to his senses and calls upon aid from Vacuo, all may be lost for us. Ironwood's not outplaying her with...
Yeah, what? And I find it stupid that was said.
Don't recall that happening in Volume 6. Because I don't recall Tyrion ever showing up in Volume 6. That was Volume 7.
Oh, no, I think he did.
Said.
I think he did. Yeah, it was said.
I have to look it up. Yeah, it was said.
It was in 7 after the massacre, where, like, he's talking with Watts.
Yeah, well, what did you say again? I forgot.
Like, if Ironwood calls Vacuo forces here, they're done for.
These tactics are being played.
Never mind.
Like a
Gavin, can you go back a few, like, I don't know, 15 seconds? Works.
To Salem's hands by squeezing Mantle, which is entirely accurate, as Tyrion said in Volume 6, if General Ironwood comes to his senses and calls upon aid from Vacuo, all may be lost for us. Ironwood's not outplaying her with these tactics. He's being played like a cheap...
In what... Okay, now, if he calls on Vacuo for help, what changes? You can still just run... And this is the problem with the fucking story. What changes? What changes if he calls on Vacuo for help?
How would Vacuo have any reason to believe him?
The support helps very little when you see the entire Grim army that they had.
I don't know. I guess it would kind of help if, like, I don't know, they like a way to make people believe him is, I don't know, tell the truth and because again, Ironwood just wanted to get the plan done and then tell everybody. It's not like he wasn't going to tell everybody. He was going to tell everybody, but then he obviously wanted to keep things control and get everything prepared
the events before he tell them ahead of time.
Yeah.
We'll say add to another point. Tyrion only makes that comment that Teagle contact Vacuo because he told them about the communications tower. If he had not said anything about the communication tower, Tyrion never would have said that. Even then, this all relies on if Vacuo would be willing to help them, considering Vacuo is described as only the strong survive type of country or kingdom.
Oh yeah, they mentioned that. If only we were able to know that instead of just being told, because they just all stayed in a freaking house.
So it really heavily relies on Vacuo willing to help Atlas, but we have no indication that they would be willing to.
Just another point against Zell.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm mixing Vacuo with Mantle, or the place that they were.
Kazoo. He follows this up not by really changing anything except demanding Robin Hill in custody, as her thefts have also led suppliers in Mantle to refuse to sell to Ironwood until he fixes the wall, causing operations to stall, and he intends to use her to make Mantle comply. On this black-bagging mission for Ironwood,
she is
Blake and Yang
essentially
also have a back and forth on
installed all
telling Ironwood.
operations.
Yang feels they might be letting Ironwood into a fight without all the details, which she feels is not better than Ozpin bringing them into a war under false pretenses, while Blake reminds us of all the...
You just said Ironwood without all the details. It's almost like someone's withholding information from him. Who could be doing that at that current time?
Yeah, honestly, like, would you, like, immediately want to, like... You would absolutely try to, like, make the plan go faster if you knew, like, everything was, like, a complete lie, and also the fact that Salem's also, invincible. Like, I feel like that would make things much more, terrifying, so he can actually... And then, you could maybe make a plan.
For some reason, Team RWBY decides, nope, not gonna tell him, and only tell him when it's the worst possible situation going on.
And oh, look at that, Salem. Oh, hey, let's say hi.
Throw in Salem too, because Ironwood cannot catch a break. Because I don't believe we were ever privy to Salem's plan, so who knew? Because I don't think any of us really knew that Atlas was going to be up next after Mistral.
Ironwood's been doing too, i.e. the embargo, the military presence, the restrictions on assembly, and his general penchant for overreaction. They end up agreeing to try and resolve things peacefully with Robin, but she has none of the knowledge they do, and so while intrigued, remains suspicious and wants the truth. Also, fun aside, but at the dinner party, no one but Ironwood and his minions are upset by Robin's presence, because despite her martial skill and actions, none of the civilians in the room see her as a threat compared to Ironwood's grasp for more power, and don't even seem aware he wanted her captured, i.e.
Robin has literally been in opposition against them, and has stalled their forces many times. I can see why they don't like her. The other two, I can just see that as RT not really paying attention to them. Really, more so. Considering that we don't really focus on any of them at all, and the fact that one of them just dies in the very next volume.
Yeah, to some bullshit of just turning into a psycho and not just arresting them. He had to kill because he's crazy.
Are their
I
names?
do not know their names. It really does not matter. It's what we call it, Chairman 1, Chairman 2?
I know one of them has the last name of Steel, and it's the guy.
Oh, hell yeah. I guess he wasn't really made out of steel. Oh, he was shot.
Those other chairmen are more so focused on Ironwood, because Jacques been talking to them like, oh, hey, turn on Ironwood.
Yeah, that is a threat to his freaking... He was like being accused and everything. He was literally...
I can't lose him.
He was literally told to be here, so it was definitely a threat. And we know Jock. He's a piece of garbage, and he clearly tampered with something because he just won because everything went down and he won.
It's amazing no one's calling voter fraud on that whole situation. Especially with all the work did to prove the numbers.
If the story was better, they could have explained that way more thorough. Like, okay, this is a reason to be suspicious and all that stuff.
Guys, Jacques only invited Robin just to tick off Ironwood.
Yeah, that was good on him. Making it more hissy.
Then Robin hurt that innocent chair.
Not arrested or tried in court the way you do with criminals over black-bagged political opposition. Then the heating grid gets turned off and panic is breaking out. Ironwood doesn't want to use his fleet because then Atlas is vulnerable, even though Mantle is currently freezing and swarmed with Grimm, and he talks about this in front of everyone, showing still where his priorities lie. Yes, he's upset and stressed out, but his main focus is still on Atlas before everyone and everything else. Despite all this,
a better solution.
Think of a better solution. I couldn't agree more.
What exactly are his forces going to do for a heating grid?
Also, Salem is immortal. Maybe we shouldn't give her the abilities to destroy the world and make her and make the world her bitch. Like,
Also, yeah, I forgot. He's not focused on Alice. He's focused on the fucking relic. Jesus Christ, I'm dying here.
it's nothing like it's not like he's focusing on something completely bad. Like, yeah,
Oh, no,
I guess
my
you.
penthouse suite.
Coat still put their faith in Ironwood and eventually convince him to evacuate Mantle, and this is also what leads to him being let in on everything, which he seems shaken by despite Oscar's reassurance and his temporary resolve to focus on what's in front of them. Because he bails on that plan the moment Cinder scares him with a chess piece, causing him to play into her hands by sending Winter to rip out Freya's soul so he can access the staff, an act which Cinder is watching and comments on when she sees Winter run inside. She knows exactly what he's doing. I would also note that when RWBY confronts him on this stuff with growing concern about his behaviour, he doesn't mention Salem as a concern but Hazel. Salem's not on his radar, but Winter was already on the move. Salem's arrival capped off his spiral into total villainy. It didn't cause it, because he had already started with making moves to abandon Mantle
You know what
and
else
do a
caused
coup
it?
before
Them just lying to him and keeping everything from him. I think
Did he
that's
There's
just
a
say he
lot
was
of.
already? He just said Iron was already starting his abandoned mantle launch Atlas plan before Salem arrived. He just said that. Back a few seconds.
already on the move. Salem's arrival capped off his spiral into total villainy. It didn't cause it, because he had already started with making moves to abandon Mantle and do a coup before she even showed up. Conclusion, we get a
I would
multitude
say
of
the
stark
second that he became villain, it really is just like what shooting Oscar, and then also shooting the
Roman?
the dude for no reason. He could have just instantly arrested. Oh, that's the thing. Like they like if I could change like the scene of like James Ironwood and everything, and they were confronting each other. Maybe we should just have Oscar jump instead of just Ironwood shooting him. Now,
I'm
could
trying to
I
think
just
why would he jump? Like
to escape? I don't know. Especially the fact that if he escapes, he might also have to deal with Ironwood's guards. So, shooting him like we're not trying to make him we're not trying to make Ironwood look like a psycho, but Oscar also needs to escape. But I'm trying to change it with like the I'm not trying to like change something big. I'm just trying to do something small but different.
technically it would change something big because then Oscar would still need to be on the ground and suddenly in a hovel with some Bonus people, he's suddenly rescued or picked up by Team RWBY, then help
Oh
people,
yeah,
and then get attacked by that the Hound, brought to Salem. Yeah, that he has to technically get shot in that situation.
he just needs to be knocked out.
Knocked out or like
Maybe he hits something when he's falling down. Like maybe it's like obviously you're not supposed to fall in that area in that place.
it would have been more
So
funny if he since he's already standing on the edge, it just accidentally crumbles away.
no, I feel like it's better if just like again since like that place since that place you're not supposed to jump from there. So there's gonna be some obviously like machinery or something there, and
So
he
technically
gets hit by that.
they technically need him to fall down that hole because he needs to create an explosion to make a hole for them to go into for Volume 8 to get the staff.
Yeah, so get knocked up by the debris or the machines that are right there. He missed like the input for like a quick time event, and he got hit by a pole. I
impressions
also kind
regarding
of like
Ironwood.
the line that Ironwood says, just like to my friends, it's like James. For you, it's like sir or something. It's general.
Because
I like that line.
trying to think, like, he pretty much saw him as Oscar, not Oz. So
also doesn't help again. Never one. Ozpin has never once talked to Ironwood. He never once. It's just like, well, that's a big missed opportunity.
it's true. It would have been nice to actually like hear, like, if Oz did come out and actually try to talk him down a bit. No, they actually never have a conversation.
Yeah.
Conclusion, we get a multitude of stark impressions regarding Ironwood and his handling of things in V6 alone, let alone his earlier behaviours, especially in V4, and he's frequently contrasted against self-serving bastards like Jacques, but none of Jacques' arguments about his misdeeds are actually wrong. The main cast frequently express uncertainty about his stability or reliability to do the right thing given his past behaviour, using outright examples from what we've seen in the show, while in other parts are also shown being charmed by his on the surface positive side.
I wish he explained more of his problem, more of his like Ironwood is bad.
Can't do
in
that.
like the in the other volumes. I wish he could do that in the other volumes. Like subtracting volume 7. What are the other like really bad stuff? Like really bad stuff to the point where we had to be so suspicious that we don't tell him anything. Because I can't think of anything that should give them to just not talk about this freaking important thing. I can't think of anything. And again, it doesn't help that it doesn't help that they don't want to do the same thing that the Osmond did. They want to change. They don't want to repeat history. They want to tell the truth and everything. So it just adds more of like a stupid reason on why they lied.
Well, from
just
volume 4, as far as I recall, that's when I think the start of the embargo, at least conversation with him and Doc. Again, we have to like a lot of the backtracking considering he doesn't explain this. Volume 5, he technically removed all his forces that were around Mistral, go back to Atlas.
Yeah, that's a worst thing. Not a villainous thing. It's just again, paranoia.
It would feel like a positive note in Zell's eyes, considering he views military might as so oppressive and forceful that they're in another country or something.
And debating telling him. It's an ongoing conversation where his negative behaviours are brought up between them or to his face constantly throughout the volume. So yes, I would say that the show communicates his negative deeds, their impacts, and the characters' concerns regarding it rather well. And that's all she wrote.
Oh, no, they do not.
It is so poorly that I decided to be on Team Ironwood.
If it was communicated so well, why did most of the fandom agree with Ironwood, or at least
a good amount of people to the point of the question?
They were on the side of Ironwood because he was, by all accounts, the man with the plan.
The boy that deserved way more. Is he best boy? Honestly, he could be.
Probably.
I'm trying to
Who's
think of
best
all the other
girl?
ones.
Like maybe like Penny. Like she dies, so we can't have any more like bad shit with her because again she's dead.
We already had the worst when she was made human.
And even that, it was just like, well, not character-wise, she wasn't terrible. It's just, she became human and then died.
And killed.
Yeah, that's not her character. That's just her dying. So yeah, so far, Penny could be really good.
Well,
Also,
Neo could be a good candidate too, considering she can't talk. Therefore, they can't ruin her with dialogue.
But her actions can definitely be ruined. Just like the old saying.
It takes a whole nother step to ruin someone's actions.
I mean, actions speaks louder than words. So if her actions were terrible, I mean, she's a villain, so yeah. I also have found this really nice sweet edit, nice sweet animation of the person who voiced Penny talking about fish. I
Well,
just posted it. You want to check it out? It's very short, like a 18 seconds.
after
I
this,
love betta fish or betta
That was
fish. I
cute.
had an entire room in my house dedicated to my fish. They're my
Yeah,
main
it's just like
hobby. I'm
it's
obsessed.
just
I love them.
her going
How
on her
should
own
we rate-
channel, but then they're animating just what if Penny said this instead of just her saying this on her own.
Right.
You,
So,
you've seen those animations, right? You've seen those type of things.
wait, how should we rate this video?
bad.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Bad.
I'd give it, I want to say, negative 9.
Negative 9. I want to say 10, but I don't think it was too crazy. Okay, let me. No, I'll say negative. Negative. No, negative 9 because he did have some of a good point with the minor thing, but everything else is just like we revert back to all these problems with Ruby and his weird idea of just Ironwood being a shitbag, even though he's doing literally everything he can.
The information that he
And
currently
then
has.
and again, like, is it crazy how he believes that what Ironwood is doing is bad, and it's just so many people can understand that what Ironwood is doing is understandable. They did such a poor job that people were rooting for Ironwood, and he happens to be that type of person who didn't see that for some reason, because he will eat everything up in Ruby. So yeah.
I'm always still just curious of what if anyone has any sort of solution for Ironwood, because I've never once heard any solutions coming from any the characters in the show or be it the actual people discussing about the show. I never once hear anyone talking about what Ironwood could have done better. Always, he's just wrong.
He's bad. He took my Snooki cards.